All right, family. We live with the general. Y'all already know what it is. We got that fire. We're gonna be talking about the media blackout in respects of Israel being bombed. Pretty much at will. They getting a lot of them missiles. Iran is getting a lot of missiles through that defense system. You see, so they most definitely didn't learn, some strategies on how to overwhelm the system and and get some, get some of them missiles in there and strike very critical areas. So yeah, so it's been a media blackout on the punishment that Iran is putting on the state of Israel. And because they don't want you to, they got this narrative that they just, they bombing Iran, but Iran is bombing them too. Iran is bombing them too. And so did they expect that, did they expect? Because the thing is, they said they did so much damage the first time. And I didn't believe that. I didn't believe it then. I didn't believe that. Donald Trump always talking crazy. Oh, it was the greatest it was the greatest bombing of all time. There's been nothing like it. Well, why you had to come back? You should have took care of that the first time. You didn't take care of it the first time. You see, if they could come back in a month or two, then you didn't do nothing. No way. You didn't do nothing. They let you come over there, blow up some things, but the majority of they weaponry, they keep it hid until they, until they might be working on some other systems that they don't have just yet. They might not have them systems just yet. And so it very well might not be their time and so they'll let the lightweight missiles off. That's what they doing. They letting the lightweight missiles off. They're using the drones, but they working on some things, and it'll be a shame. It'll be a shame if they get it and let it loose and it hit, some major city, and do a lot of damage. You talking about catastrophic, devastation is likely between, because Russia one thing, and Russia, but Iran is another, because they already got a suicide mentality. They got a suicide mentality when you got cats that are strap bombs on their body and blow up without and say, I'm going to Allah. I'm going to Allah. A lot of them young boys. They didn't want to die, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. They willing to strap up the young men, whoever, young women, the babies. They don't care. Oh, the elder. Yeah, they'll put bombs on them and let them make them walk in and detonate them and things of that nature. So they already got a suicide mentality. So, but there is a blackout going on that, that is it's not a cakewalk, and it's not going to be a cakewalk, and it's the law of the people to get to sleep, that, oh, this, we got this. They can't defeat America. They can't defeat, we too say we got the greatest military. Yeah, and we very well may have the greatest military. But if the will or why you go to war is not there, then the people not gonna fight with the type of with the will. When somebody that struck you and struck your people, and just like after 9/11, people was ready to go to war. They was ready to go to war after 9/11. You know what I'm saying? People know why they was going over there. You know, they knew why they was going over there. So you had a lot of people that was ready to get busy. They was ready to have revenge for that. So you had so many people sign. signing up for the military just to go over there, you know. So when you got that, you know, the people gonna fight. They gonna fight. That's just what it is. But you don't have that, you know. But and I see what's happening, and so I believe some of it is a preemptive assault to keep Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. You see, whether they gonna have it tomorrow or have it any, you know, and you got to understand with Russia, you got to it's other players in there, you know, because Russia need to help somebody to, you know, just like you know they help North Korea, because you know good and well that's who helped North Korea to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Even though they probably didn't want to do it, you see, because they don't know if he liable to turn on them one day, you know. So if you arm them and somehow y'all get into it, you got to know that you didn't arm this man, and so but they was willing to elevate North Korea, Kim Jong Un, to the level of a nuclear nation. Now, is Russia and China ready to? And now I know Russia. I know Russia because you know when you think about them Iranians and some of them is the same people. You know what I'm saying? They might say, you know, they might speak a language, man, them the same people. You know, they got some of the same origins. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, Russia most definitely is willing to help Iran to a certain degree, you know, and with all the, the negative feedback they're gonna get for doing it, but and they're doing it because they need another ally. You know, Russia is not able to fight the United States no more. That's just not reality. United States economy is too robust for Russia to fight. Even if they ain't fighting military, you can't fight them even on the economic level. They can't do it, man. United States economy is damn near 100 times bigger than Russia's economy. So they can't fight the United States on no level. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality, but they're willing to help one of they allies, to the level of nuclear, so that there'll be another player for them, that could help them in a time of crisis. So you'll have four, nations. You're gonna have China, you're gonna have North Korea, you're gonna have Russia, and possibly Iran. And when you look at it from the United States point of view, I mean, you just have to look. You ain't got to agree. You just this is military school, and you got to look at it from their perspective. And they saying we cannot let Iran get the nuclear bomb. That's in reality they can't, because that might tip the scale. That might tip the scale. That might tip the scale. You know, I still don't think they would. But that would tip the scale. And to have Russia, China, North Korea, and China and Russia, North Korea, China, and Iran. I still don't think they could deal with the US, but it would blow this earth up if they ever got into it, you know. And again, Iran is a loose cannon. They are. And people gonna say, well, the United States, and we understand that. But we stay here. We stay here. You ain't going nowhere. So if they get to launching them, they ain't gonna call you up and say, oh, I'm just letting you know, we about to bomb your cities, and we just want to give y'all a head up because we respect and love y'all so much. We want to let you know, they on the way. They're not gonna do that. They see you just as much as they see. So I mean, as much as you try to separate, and it's not, it's not about agreeing with nobody politically. We just understanding that we always reap the worst of everything. Even if we ain't got nothing to do with it, we reap the worst of everything. Just know that. Nobody gonna help us. And when things go down over here, nobody gonna bring us no water, no food, no nothing. So, just know that. So we have to think, at least for our people, what would be the best decision for our people? Okay? For our people. You see? So that is the best that this nation be victorious in that sense. Of course. That's just what it is. And that just, and you haven't built up nothing to separate. Marcus Garvey said separate. If you ain't got nothing, what you gonna do? What card is you gonna play? Y'all ain't got nothing to say. You ain't got nothing worth saying. Just be real. That's knowledge. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no plan, just say I ain't got a plan, man. Real talk. Well, at least you acknowledge that, and then that puts you on the road to do something about it. But be confused and put all the comments, that shit don't mean nothing at all. It don't mean nothing. It's not gonna change nothing if this go down the way. It's not gonna help nobody. So we have to be smart in our agenda, and at least make the best decision and speak it. I don't mind. And people think I'm no, no. I want this nation to be victorious. That's just it. So that my people can get their shit together and get out of the way. Get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? These peoples is gonna have it out one day or another. Get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere and find yourself somewhere on this planet where you could get away from the. And I don't even believe that's is possible in this day and age. I know you can go, but I believe at when this go down, if it go down, man, this is gonna be a global catastrophe. Isn't it, it's just gonna be the whole globe is effectively gonna be in a state of trauma. It's gonna be in a state of trauma, and it's gonna take a long time to recover from it, and people gonna have to move into a new way of thinking, and it just might have to be what it have to be. And you hate to say that because you don't want to see that kind of catastrophe on the planet, but you can't stop it. You can't stop no buttons being pushed. You see, you can't stop no planes taking off. You see, you can't do none of that. So you just have to, get on your surfboard. You have to ride the wave successfully to shore. And that's what you have to do. And that's our people. We got to ride this wave successfully to shore and recapture some of the teachings that the master teachers then put out there, and quit fooling yourself that you have a better plan, because you really don't. You really don't. Too many of the greatest minds, and they may vary here and there on a few things, but for the most part, they pretty much gave the right answers for our people. As far as get yourself together, do for self, establish your own economic base, find you some land somewhere, get on it, build on it, and get you some military. You know what I'm saying? And start building, and quietly. You ain't got to be running off at your mouth. Quietly build, quietly build. Stay to yourself, and give yourself some years, of doing for self, and building till one day, people wake up and you're a mighty, mighty nation once again, and we could do that, and we supposed to do that, and we can do that, and we will do it. Eventually, we will do it. But anyway, family, there is a blackout going on in the media. A lot of punishment going on over there. So just to let you know that, yeah, Iran is, getting a lot of missiles through, and they are hitting many nation over there. The ones that work with the United States, and yeah, they hitting them. They are hitting them, and again, like I said, They probably got a surprise for them because I believe those are the smaller missiles. They ain't even pulled the bigger missiles out yet. They haven't even pulled the bigger missiles out yet. So, ain't no telling what you gonna see. Say you going to Canada, he laughing. Ain't he? At least you explain. At least you know you ain't got one. At least you know you ain't got. Some people believe they got a plan. Yeah. Yeah. At least that's they say that's the basis of knowledge. When you don't know, just say you don't know. Then you know you got to get it. You got to get some knowledge. If you ain't got none, you know you got to get some. Some people believe they got it and don't have it, and that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, family, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all get over to Patreon. We got this file over there. We're gonna be dealing with the next phase of what's gonna be going on out there. Going to Mexico. We know that they just had the Shield of America conference where they really laying out the blueprint to go into Mexico. And so they're building up a coalition, go watch it. They're building up a coalition that's going to be willing to go into Mexico and get the cartels. That's next. That's next. So, and they believe that, that China and the Mexican cartel got an agenda to try to destroy the United States from within. Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to tell you. And I believe it too. And I do believe it. I do believe it. And you will see why I believe it when you check out this the blueprint that I done laid out. A lot of people is quietly talking about it too. But a lot of things is still hush hush. But check it out, family. Patreon, click the link, and I'll see y'all real soon. Boom. Black Power.